Good evening, children. 6, 7, and 8 standard science students. Today we are going to learn the topic of nitrogen cycle. Okay. Yes, I think you have some knowledge, basic knowledge about that nitrogen. What is nitrogen? Nitrogen is one of the important gas. Yes, it is present in our atmosphere. It is the important nutrition for all living organism. It is very essential matter, essential thing for all living organism like plants and animals also. So, nitrogen is one of the important component for all living organism. It is the essential component for proteins and then DNA and then chlorophyll. So, nitrogen is the essential component for all these proteins. Yes, in our body contains different kinds of materials like protein, carbohydrate, minerals, and then different kinds. In same thing, plants and animals also having DNA, chlorophylls, proteins like that. So, the nitrogen is the important nutrition for all living organism to survive in this area. Okay, we want to survive this earth means nitrogen is the essential component to that. So, yes, already that nitrogen is present in the atmosphere. Do you know the percentage? How many percentage of nitrogen is present in our atmosphere? Yes, this is one of the important question. 78 percentage. Atmosphere is the richest source of nitrogen contained about 78 percentage. Yes, atmosphere contain 78 percentage of nitrogen. So in this calculation, that is the 78 percentage among 100% means indirectly indicated it is the very essential component for all living organisms. So plants and animals cannot utilize directly nitrogen. So plants and animals cannot utilize the atmospheric nitrogen. They can use only in the form of ammonia. Plants and animals consumes that nitrogen in the form of ammonia, amino acids and nitrates. So, what is the first detailed? Nitrogen is the essential component for all living organism, but plants and animals cannot consume directly. They can't use the direct nitrogen from the atmosphere in the form of, they can use in the form of ammonia and then amino acids. So, in this formation, plants and animals use the nitrogen. Okay. So, nitrogen. So, the process are different. The cycle is different. How the nitrogen cycle is going. Now, we are going to learn how is the nitrogen cycle is formed. So, first concept, what is nitrogen cycle? Nitrogen cycle is important. Nitrogen is the important nutrient for all living organisms in this earth. It is an essential component of protein and DNA and chlorophyll. Atmosphere contains 78 percentage of nitrogen, and then the plant and animals cannot utilize the atmospheric nitrogen. They can use that nitrogen in the form of ammonia and amino acids. Plants and animals use the nitrogen in the form of ammonia and amino acids process. So, what is nitrogen cycle? Yes, that nitrogen cycle contains four categories, that is, four different kinds of steps. First one is nitrogen fixation. This is the first step of nitrogen cycle. So, nitrogen cycle is that, sorry, nitrogen fixation is the first step of nitrogen cycle. So, nitrogen fixation is the conversion of atmospheric nitrogen and reactive compounds available to the living organism. Already we studied the plant and animals are not take that nitrogen, direct nitrogen from the atmosphere in the form of, they want to take that in the form of ammonia and then amino acids. So, in nitrogen fixation, first step is conversion of atmospheric nitrogen. Conversion of atmospheric nitrogen process is done in this first step of nitrogen fixation. Okay, so in that form, the reactive compounds living available to the living organism. Conversion is done by the number of bacteria, that is blue-green algae. Blue-green algae, and then luminous plants like pea and beans. Pea and beans, peas, and then beans. These two kinds of plants are store the nitrogen content in the root place. Okay, so that is called as a rhizobium. Rhizobium occur in the root nodules of leguminous plants like peas and beans. They store the nitrogen. Peas and pea plant. This is the pea plant. So pea plants are store the nitrogen content in the root part, that is called as that rhizobium. Okay, so leguminous plants like pea and beans have a symbiotic relationship of nitrogen fixing bacteria, that is called as rhizobium. So, that rhizobium occur in the root part of the nodules. So, the nitrogen fixation first process is the conversion of nitrogen. Atmospheric nitrogen is converted into that ammonia or that amino acid or that in the form of rhizobium. Rhizobium means that peas and beans, these two kinds of plants are stored that nitrogen in that root part. So rhizobium is occur in root nodules, and then leguminous plants are fix the nitrogen compounds in this place. This is called as nitrogen fixation. Okay, and next one is nitrogen assimilation. First one is fixation. Fixation means conversion of atmospheric nitrogen. Next one is assimilation. How the plants and animals are assimilate that nitrogen. So plants absorb nitrogen ions and use them for making the organic matter like proteins and nucleic acids. Yes, that plants are absorbs. How they absorbs? Plants absorb the nitrogen content. How they absorb the nitrate ions? So they absorb the nitrogen in the form of nitrates. Okay, yeah, in the form nitrates means sodium nitrate, potassium nitrate. These are all the chemical component. Nitrogen is involved in that component, so that plants are not directly absorb the atmospheric nitrogen in the form of amino acids and nitrates form. So plant absorb the nitrate ions, use them that making the organic matter. So that is sodium nitrate, potassium nitrate, like that. We are supplying different kinds of fertilizers and then organic fertilizer as well as the chemical fertilizer. They contain rich component of nitrogen. So these nitrate forms contain that nitrogen component. So herbivorous animals convert the plant proteins into the animal proteins. Carnivorous animals are synthesize protein from their food. So herbivores and then carnivores. These are all two kinds of animals. We know that. So herbivore animals are how they convert that nitrogen means they convert the plant protein to the animal protein. Plant protein into animal protein. Which category? Herbivorous animals. Herbivorous animals convert plant proteins into the animal proteins. So this is one of the formation. Next one is carnivores. Carnivores animals are changed. This is the opposite formation. They synthesize the proteins from their food. They synthesize that food. They synthesize the proteins from their food. They are taking different kinds of foods. So automatically the nitrogen content also assimilate within that food itself. Okay. First thing, herbivorous animals are convert the plant protein to the animal protein, and then carnivorous animals are synthesize the protein from their food, their own food. So this is the concept of nitrogen assimilation. So first plants are absorb the nitrate in the form of nitrogen ion. So nitrogen ion in the usage of organic matter, proteins, and then nucleic acid, different kinds of acids. So herbivorous animals, first one plant, how the plants are assimilate, how the animal categories are assimilate. So the plants are assimilate in the form of nitrate ion, use them the organic matter like proteins and then nucleic acids. Okay, proteins and nucleic acid in the formation. So the herbivorous animals are convert the plant protein to animal protein. Carnivore animals synthesize the protein from their own food. Okay, so this is the details about that nitrogen assimilation. First one is nitrogen fixation. How the nitrogen fixation process are done in our area, that is atmospheric. Conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into different forms. Okay. So, and then nitrogen assimilation means how the plants and animals are assimilate that nitrogen. And third stage is ammonification. Okay. Ammonification. What is ammonification? Nitrogen fixation, nitrogen assimilation. Third step is ammonification. Process of decomposition of the nitrogenous waste to the purifying bacteria, that is fungi, to ammonia compound is called as ammonifications. Though process of decomposition. What is decomposition? Yes, the decomposition process means that different kinds of animals and plants life period is over, means we want to decompose that. The dry leaves are collected and decomposed and to convert into that manure part. Okay, so decomposition is the conversion process. So the process of decomposition of nitrogenous waste to purifying bacteria and fungi to ammonium compounds. So, into the ammonium compounds. So, this process is called as ammonification. Yes, decomposition means conversion part. The process of decomposition of nitrogenous waste to the purifying bacteria and fungi into ammonium compound is called as ammonification. What is ammonification? Means process of decomposition of the nitrogenous waste, means that is excretory product contains rich amount of nitrogen content. So that excretory waste is to purify the bacteria and fungi into ammonium compounds. Ammonium, that is called as ammonification. So animal proteins are excreted in the form of urea. Yes, urea means that animal proteins are excreted in the form of urea and then uric acid and ammonia. So ammonia and then uric acid, urea is from that animal proteins. So animal proteins are excreted in the formation of these three components. The purifying bacteria and fungi decompose these animal proteins, dead animals and plants into the ammonium compounds. Dead animals means when that dry leaves or dry animal also, they are decomposed in that part. So some decays past means it will change into that another formation. So in this manner ammonification process are done in our area. So the process of decomposition of the nitrogenous waste. How the nitrogenous waste are converted means animal proteins are that excreted in the form of urea, uric acid and ammonia. So the purified bacteria decompose the animal protein, dead animals into ammonium compounds. So this is the formation of ammonification. And next one is nitrification. Yes, we are studying which topic? Yes, nitrogen cycle. In nitrogen cycle, the fourth step is nitrification. In nitrogen cycle, the fourth step of nitrogen cycle is nitrification. Nitrification means the ammonium compounds are formed by the ammonification process, oxidate into the soluble nitrates. So this formation is called as that nitrogen for that is nitrification, nitrate formation. The first the ammonium compounds are formed in the third stage, that is ammonification. So the ammonium compounds formed by ammonification process. Already we know that that is the third process of nitrogen cycle. So the ammonium compounds formed by the ammonification process are oxidized. Oxidized means oxygen is evolved in that place, means that reaction is called as oxidation. Oxidized to the soluble nitrates. So this concept is called as nitrification. Okay, so this process of nitrate formation is known as nitrification. This formation of nitrates. How the nitrates are formed means ammonium compounds formed by the ammonification process are oxidized to the soluble nitrates. So this formation of nitrates is called as nitrification. Okay, so what does nitrification means? This is the explanation about nitrification. Ammonium compounds formed by the ammonification process are oxidation formation also done that. So oxidized to the soluble nitrates. So this formation of nitrates is called as nitrification. So bacteria, the responsible for the nitrification is called as nitrifying bacteria. Which bacteria is used to help the nitrification process? That bacteria is called as a nitrifying bacteria. So this is the concept of nitrification. And then another concept is denitrification. Next step is denitrification. What is denitrification means? The soil contained rich of bacteria. So the soil bacteria such as Pseudomonas reduce the nitrate ions of soil into the gaseous nitrogen which enters into atmospheres. That is, one complete cycle was done in this area. Nitrogen cycle. Cycle means the circle. That process is automatically rotation. Rotation process. Rotation process is that very good example of water. Three states of matter means solid, liquid, and then gas. Okay. So this is called as water cycle. So solid means the liquid water is evaporated into gas. Okay. The gas is also evaporated, and once again it will come to that our earth in rain formation. Automatically it will be changed in the form of that snow. That is in solid process, though the cycle is always comes and down. So this kind of process is called a cycle. So the same manner, this nitrogen cycle also, denitrification process is nothing but the soil bacteria is reduce the nitrate ions. So the nitrate ions of soil into the changes of gaseous nitrogen. That gaseous nitrogen is mixed into atmosphere. The first process is atmospheric nitrogen is absorbed from that plants, animals in the formation of different kinds. So this is the first stage and the last stage also. The nitrate ion is converted into the gaseous nitrogen. So the gaseous nitrogen easily joined to the atmosphere. This process is called as denitrification. Okay. So is that clear, students? The nitrogen cycle is a formation of that for four kinds of step, that is nitrogen fixation, nitrogen assimilation, ammonification, nitrification, and denitrification. How that nitrogen, what are the microorganisms are used to that important role in that nitrogen cycle process means, first one, nitrogen fixation. In this step, which bacteria is used? Rhizobium, and then acetobacter, that is in soil pot, and then blue-green algae in that nostoc, and then plants also. Okay, yeah. So these three bacteria, one is acetobacter. Acetobacter in soil, and then next one is blue-green algae. So these two bacteria, microorganism is to that nitrogen fixation process, and then ammonification process is purifying bacteria, that is fungi. And then nitrification. In nitrification process, nitrosomonas and then nitrobacter, nitrifying bacteria. So in this nitrification process, what are the microorganisms are involved means nitrobacter. Nitrobacter organism is involved in nitrification process. Denitrification process is denitrifying bacteria, that is Pseudomonas. Pseudomonas is that Pseudomonas microorganism is used in denitrification process. So nitrogen fixation process, blue-green algae and then acetobacter organisms are help to this process. And then ammonification process, fungi is used to help this process. Nitrification process, nitrobacter and then nitrosomonas organisms are helped to do that process. Denitrification, pseudomonas is helpful to do the denitrification process. So this is the concept about that nitrification, nitrogen cycle. Next we going to learn how the cycles are done. First one is, what are the important parts? One is plants and then animals. These are all that consumers as well as the producers. What are the process in that nitrogen cycles? One is nitrogen fixation and then assimilation, and then next one is ammonification and nitrification. So these processes are important in that nitrification process. Okay. Now we are going to learn the concept with the help of nitrogen cycle. So with the help of the simulation, yes, this concept, that is nitrogen cycle, is easily understand in this process. So now I'm going to match this primary producer. Who is the producer? Yes, the plant is the producer of the nitrogen. Is that or not? Because the nitrogen atmospheric air content, large number of nitrogen content, that is 78%. The nitrogen is present in our atmospheric area. Okay. Next one is a nitrogen gas in atmosphere. Yes, I think this is the right point. This is atmospheric air. Atmospheric air content large quantity of nitrogen. And then next one, primary consumer. Who is the primary consumer? Yes, I am choosing rabbit. Rabbit is the consumer of nitrogen. Plants and animals are the consumer of nitrogen in the formation of in different manner. Nitrogen fixing bacteria nitrate nitrogen gas into the usable forms of the ammonia formation. Okay, yeah. So this is the right answer. So the nitrogen fixation bacteria is nitrogen gas into the usable form of ammonia, and then decomposes, eat that, titrates and then return the nitrogen into the soil. So think I am choosing this point. First one, this is the right point of that. Next one is soil bacteria return to the nitrogen in the atmosphere. The nitrogen is returned to the atmosphere. Okay. Finally, we will find out the right answers for that. And then usable nitrogen in the soil. Usable nitrogen in the soil part. So, and next one is, yes, secondary consumer. Secondary consumer, I'm choosing this part. So, first one is nitrogen gas in the atmosphere. Yes, primary producer. What does the producer mean? That is atmosphere and then plants and animals also. This is the secondary consumer, primary consumer, and then soil bacteria return to the nitrogen and then usable nitrogen to the soil, decomposes, eat that, it gets returned to the nitrogen to the soil, nitrogen fixing bacteria. Okay, so I'm going to select the yes. How many answers are correct? Yes, some answers are correct and then some answers are not correct. Now we are going to do the right part. Yes, we want to show the right answers. Yes, these are all the right answer. Yes, this is the nitrogen gas in that atmospheric air. Yes, the atmospheric air this contains large number of nitrogen. This is the first producer, that is plant is the producer part. Secondary consumer is that animal. Primary consumer is that small animals are consume the nitrogen. First consumer, primary consumer, and then these are all that secondary consumer. Yes, usable nitrogen means this part. Usable nitrogen in this part also. Nitrogen fixation means here. Yes, different kinds of plants like peas and bees plants are store the nitrogen content in the form of nitrate noodles and then decomposes, see that nitrogen to the soil means the small animals, microorganisms are takes that and soil bacteria return to the nitrogen in the atmosphere is in this area. So this is the nitrogen cycle process. Students, have you all understand this topic? Is there any doubt in this part? Nitrogen cycle is very simple process but is very essential process for all plants and animals also. We are need rich amount of nitrogen. The plants and animals are taking in the formation of nitrogen. That is ammonia, ammonic acids, and then amino acids and nitrates forms. So in this manner, nitrogen cycles are done in our earth. Okay. Then, yes, what are the terms are used in this nitrogen cycle? Please, you also cooperate. You also taking one paper and write their answer. Yes, usable nitrogen in the soil. Yes or no? Yes, usable nitrogens are come down to the soil. Yes, and then a second one, secondary consumer. Who is the secondary consumer? Yes, that fox is the secondary consumer. The secondary consumer term is used in this nitrogen cycles. What are the terms are used in this part? Decomposer, eat, detrite, and then return nitrogen to the soil. Yes, this concept also right. Primary producer. Who is the primary producer? Yes, plants are the primary producer of the nitrogen. So this is also right answer. Primary consumer, who is? Yes, the rabbit means that the small animals are that primary consumer. So this is also right answer. Soil bacteria return the nitrogen to the atmosphere. Yes, this concept also right because this is a lost process, I think. So this is also the right concept. Nitrogen gas in the atmosphere, yes, 78% of nitrogen is abundant of amount. So this is the right answer. And then nitrogen Fixing bacteria make nitrogen gas into the usable forms like ammonia. Yes, this is also the right part. So, yes, all the points are correct. So, the answer is 8 out of 8. Yes, first one is usable nitrogen in the soil, and then secondary consumer decomposes primary consumer, secondary consumer, soil bacteria, nitrogen fixing bacteria. So this is also correct answer. Okay. Students, I think you got very clear idea about this nitrogen cycle process. Okay. Next, we are going to move the second topic, that is very important topic also. What is that? Yes, structure and function of human heart. Structure and the function of human heart. Yes, heart is the very essential organ or not? Yes, very, very, very essential. Here, there are different kinds of organs and organ systems in our body. What are they? Respiratory system, and then digestive system, circulatory system. In circulatory system, heart is the very important organ in the circulatory system. Yes. So, the heart is the important organ. How the heart is made up of? Heart is made up of that very soft muscles. So the muscular pumping organs are pumps. So pumps the blood into the blood vessels. Heart is pump. How they are? The lap tap sound is comes from that area. Have you all feel that? Have you all heard the sound, all of you? Have you all heard that laptop sound? Yes, you please listen in your heart or otherwise other person's heart. Yes, we clearly hear that sound is when the pumping is the pumping process are done in that place, means automatically the laptop sounds are comes from that area. So that human heart is situated between the lungs. Where it is means between the lungs part. When the heart is situated between the lungs and slightly titled towards the left and above the diaphragm throatic cavity. The heart is made up of that special muscle that is called as cardiac muscles. So the heart is made up of cardiac muscles. The heart is enclosed. The double wall is called as pericardium. What is pericardium? This is the 1 mark important questions. What is pericardium? Pericardium means the heart is enclosed the double walled sac. That is called as pericardium, and then it contains the lubricant fluid that is used to reduce the friction, because it is always function in our life period. Non-stop machine. Heart is the non-stop machine in our body. So the pericardial fluid is help to pump that, and then it will help to move the heart muscles also. Friction during the heart, and they protect the mechanical injuries also. Okay. I'm going to share the picture of heart. Yes, this is the structure of heart. So, please listen, students. What are the part? This is called Venkava, aorta pulmonary, aorta left atrium. Now I'm going to explain. Just you look at the picture. This is right atrium and right ventricle and left ventricle. Yes, very essential part only mentioned in this picture, as well as how the blood is circulated. The arrow mark indicate the circulation of blood. Okay, how the blood is circulated in that area, which one is oxygenated blood and which one is not oxygenated blood. Yes, now I'm going to explain that part. Human heart is four chambered. How many chambers are present in our heart means? Yes, there are four chambers are in our heart. The two upper thin wall chambers is called as atria, that is atrium. So, and then lower thick walled, yes, the lower part is thick because in the movement of that pumping, the downward part is come down, so that the protection manner, this part is very thick. The thickness is high compared to the above part. Below part of heart is so thick because of the movement. So the chambers are separated by the lower parts are two ventricles. Upper parts are called as atrium, and then lower part is called as, the thick wall chambers are called as ventricles, right and left ventricles. These chambers are separated by the partition. Partition means the separated part. In our house, there are each and every room, you are having one wall separated to the another room. In that manner, the separation part, the septum part is the separated partition for the two part, that is ventricles and auricles. The septum between auricles and ventricle prevent the mixing of oxygenated and the deoxygenated blood. This is very essential. Is that or not? Yes. Two kinds of process are going in this area, that is oxygenated blood and then deoxygenated blood are rotated in this area. There are two different kinds of manners. So we want to separate the part in that manner. The septum part is present in that place. Two auricles are separated from the area that is called as interitial septum, auricle part, and that left atrium is smaller than the right atrium. So the left atrium is smaller than that right atrium because right atrium receive the deoxygenated blood. Please note this and register in your mind clearly. Which part receive the deoxygenated blood means right atrium receive the deoxygenated blood to different parts of our body. So the blood is contain that oxygen, that is deoxygenated and oxygenated. So right atrium receive deoxygenated blood from the different parts, and then that is the main veins are help to that, that is vein cava. The superior vein cava, inferior vein cava, and then coronary sinus. These parts are contain the deoxygenated blood. Pulmonary veins are bring the oxygenated blood. Yes, this is pulmonary artery. The pulmonary vein contains the oxygenated blood. Okay, yeah. So which one contains the deoxygenated blood means right atrium receive that deoxygenated from blood. That is the different parts of our body. Pulmonary veins mean oxygenate. They contain that oxygenated blood to the left atrium from the lungs. The lungs supply the oxygenated blood. Okay. And then the left and right ventricle have the thick wall because the ventricles have pumped the blood. So the ventricle parts have the pump the blood. So they are having that thick part. So the right ventricle and then arteries are pulmonary trunk which bifurcate that right and then left auricles. Okay, so the right and left pulmonary arteries supply the deoxygenated blood, and left ventricle, and then left ventricle is longer and narrower than the right ventricles. So left ventricle gives the rise to aorta. Oxygenated blood supplied in the aorta in this body. So the coronary arteries supply the blood to the heart. So in this process, the arrow mark denoted the circulation of blood. So the deoxygenated blood is received from this area. That is the vein cava part. So the walls are the muscular flaps. That is right aortoventricular valve, left aortoventricular valve, and then semilunar valve. These three kinds of valves are present in this heart. Okay, yeah. So there are three kinds of valve. That is right arterioventricular. It is located between the right auricle and then right ventricle. Three triangular valve, that is called as tricuspid valve. I'm going to share the another picture, or otherwise, 1 second. Sorry. Yes, in this diagram, we are going to be able to understand that part. Which one is that? Pulmonary part, which is mitral valve, left ventricle, right atrium, left atrium, and then pulmonary arteries also. Okay. So now I'm going to choose the right part. First one is mitral valve. This is aorta. Okay. And then right atrium. This is pulmonary vein. And then, yes, this is that. So this is the explanation features of that heart functions, and I'm going to choose the right part from this. There are the correct clear picture of our human heart. There are 4 chambers, that is auricle and ventricle, the different kinds of parts and different kinds of valves also here. Now I am going to choose the right answer for this. Okay. Superior vena cava, pulmonary veins, and then aorta. And next one is this left ventricle. So is that right or not, students? Yes, I want to find out the right answer from your area also. So these are all the right answer for this. This is the part is called as aorta. And then which one is the pulmonary veins? Yes, this vein is called as pulmonary vein. So this valve is called as, the correct answer for that? Yes, this is right atrium or mitral valve. Do you know the part? And then next one is pulmonary veins and then pulmonary arteries also. Superior vena cava. This is called as superior vena cava. This is the left ventricle part, and then tricuspid valve and then bicuspid. There are two kinds of valves also. This is that tricuspid valve. The answers are right or not? Just raise your hand or answer me. Yeah, my answers are right or not, please? Which are the wrong answer? You please inform me. I want to change that. Just I want to evaluate that part. Do you know the structure of heart? Which one is artery? Which one is atrium and ventricle? And which is the part of mitral valve and then tricuspid valve? Which is the left ventricle, superior vena cava. Shall I? Yes, these are all the right answer. There is no doubt. Shall I submit the answer? Yes, now I'm going to submit. Wait and see. Only 4 answer. Yes. I'm not choose the right answer. 4 answer only right in this part among 9. Do you know, find out which one is right or wrong? Yes, these are all the right part. This is called as aorta. Yes, this is also right answer. That is pulmonary vein. This valve is called as tricuspid valve. That is one of the important valve. It is located between the right auricle part and then right ventricle part. It has 3 triangular leaf-like flap, so that it is called as tricuspid valve. Why it is called as means it is the thin triangular leaf-like flap. So that is called as tricuspid valve. Okay, yeah. Next one is that pulmonary arteries. This part is pulmonary arteries. This is right atrium. Atrium part, this is right atrium. This is the mitral valve. Okay, yeah. So the mitral valve means in this part is called as mitral valve. And then next one is superior vena cava. This is also the right answer. This valve is called as superior vena cava. This is left ventricle. Lower part is called as the ventricle part. So this is the inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava. That is that located between the auricle and left ventricle. That is bicuspid valve. One is another one valve is called as bicuspid valve or otherwise mitral valve. Mitral valve is otherwise called as bicuspid. This is tricuspid. This is bicuspid. There are 2 leaf-like part, so that it is called as bicuspid or mitral valve. So these 2 valves are very important valve in our heart part. So the major arteries which leave that heart of the semi-lunar valve prevent the backward flow of that blood part. Okay, so the semi-lunar valve is important, one of the important valve because it protects the backward flow of the blood. So these are all the right parts of our human heart. So how the human heart structure? In this session, we understand first one is nitrogen cycle. Another topic is structure of human heart. Okay, next class we are going to learn the function of human heart. So what are the different kinds of parts? It's the same one. What are the parts? Yes, aorta. Aorta is present in our human concept. Pulmonary veins. Yes, pulmonary veins also present. Pulmonary arteries and also pulmonary veins are present in our human heart. Yes, tricuspid valve is present in that right atrioventricular valve. So it is that right tricuspid valve. Next one is pulmonary arteries. Yes, pulmonary arteries and pulmonary veins both are present in that part. Right atrium. Right atrium contains that deoxygenated blood. Inferior van cava also present in that. Left ventricles. It is also the right term and present in our heart. Next one is mitral valve. Mitral valve is that bicuspid valve, that is otherwise called as mitral valve. The superior van cava. Superior van cava receive the deoxygenated blood. Okay. So I think all the answers are right. Okay. Yes, 9 out of 9. So with the help of this activity, we learn how the structure of heart is, or the how the what are the parts, how the blood is circulated in our heart, that is oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood, so circulated in our heart. So how the heart is functions, there are different types of blood circulation: systemic circulation, pulmonary circulation, and then coronary circulation. So in these three types of circulation, the blood is circulated in our body. So this chapter we are going to learn in next session. So students, please ask me, is there any doubts or is there any clarification? Which part does not understand? Yes, I can't understand this topic in this part. Please, once again, I want to learn that topic. Means you just you come and ask. Okay. Don't hesitate to ask the questions. That is the important concept. Again and again I told, is there any doubt in your class or in this session? Just you raise your hand. What is the, I can't understand this concept. You please once again explains this chapter. Or otherwise, each and every day, I told today also, you please go and revise your, just you take your science book, take out that part of nitrogen cycle. What is nitrogen cycle? What are the types are present in that part? What is ammonification? What is nitrification? Just you go and read loudly. When you understand the topic means very good, or otherwise you can't understand mean once again you read the topic and then definitely you will recall the session explanation. Definitely it will be clear that area, or otherwise you please write down the questions which part is not clear. Definitely we will explain that next session. Okay. So go and revise the topics. There are 2 topics I teach in your session. One is nitrogen cycle. Another one is structure of our human heart. Okay. Both are very important topics. So please go revise. Is there any doubt? Please come and ask me. Okay. Thank you, students. Jai Vidya Shakti. Jai Bharat. Jai Hind.